Hello and welcome to another lecture. In this final lecture of this section, we will discuss about comparator and comparable interfaces in Java. So these both interfaces are used to sort the particular elements. So let us start with comparable. So comparable is an interface which is used to implement the sorting functionality for user-defined objects. So if you have user-defined objects and you want to define a particular sorting logic to the particular user defined class, then you can use this particular comparable interface by implementing the comparable interface and overriding the compare to method. So the compare to method will take we can have the comparable comparing logic with inside the compare to method. So it will be like if both the values are equal, then it should return 0. If the one first value is greater, then it will return 1, and if the first value is less, it will return -1. So like that the comparing logic will be written inside the comparable interfaces compare to method. And next we will discuss is comparator interface. So comparator interface is another interface which helps in sorting data. So here in this interface, what is the advantage is like we can pass into the collections dot sort method. There is a parameterized version of the collection dot sort where we can pass the particular comparator object along with the sorting collection. So like that we can pass this collection this comparator object. The advantage is like if the source code of the class is not available to modify, at that time you can use the comparator interface to sort the particular class, because it can implement the sorting logic outside of the class. You don't need to go inside the class and write the like in comparable you have to write inside the class and write the comparable, like that you have to write it. But in case of comparator, an additional class you will write. In that additional class you will write the comparator logic, in which you will override a particular method in the comparator int compare method, and you will compare the two objects obj1 and obj2. The two objects will be there in the particular parameter, and you will write the similar logic right like what you have written for the comparables compare to method. Whatever your logic written for -1 and 1 and 0, these three written values, that logic we have to write it for the comparator also. So that's how comparator will work. And comparator has many new features which is added after Java 8. Some static methods are added to the particular default method also ever added to the particular interface. So now let us see the some of the methods which are added to the comparator interface. So here you can see comparing method is there, reversed method is there, comparing double method is there. So different methods are added. So these methods will have different functionality. Take time to check out this API. You can go to our docs.oracle.com and check it out all the APIs. So now let us see some practical programs based on the comparator and comparable interface. Now let us see a program based on comparable interface in Java, which is used to sorting the data. And let us start with the user-defined class, which is our student class. So student class, you have some properties you can see, and I have a constructor in the particular student class. Before that, you can see I am implementing the uh, interface comparable. So like that, and after that after implementing in order to implement the after implementing, you have to override the particular method compare to of the particular comparable interface, and you have to write this kind of logic. So here is a logic is to compare the ages and return a particular value, and if its age is greater, then we will return 1. If it is less, -1. If they are equal, then return 0. So that is a comparison logic. And finally, there is a toString method to print the string representation of the particular class. So that's it about the student class. Now let us see the main method. So here is a main method in of this program. So here you can see I am creating the student object and each objects, and after that I am adding all the elements to a particular list. Then I am using the collections.sort method to sort the particular list, and it will return me the sorted list. or not. Well, let us see the output of this program. So here you can see it is sorted based on the ID. So the smallest ID will come first, and like that it is sorted. That's it for the output of this program. You can see all by comma separated. The IDs are getting two first ID will come, like that it is coming. So that's how comparable can be used to sort the particular user defined class. So now let us see a program on comparator interface. Now let us see a program based on comparator interface. So in this program we will have an employee class, and this employee class will be sorted based on the age. So let us start this program. So here you can see the employee object. It has ID and name and age. Three fields are there, and I'm using the constructor to initialize the value and a string method to print the particular values. Now let us see the comparator method. So here is a comparator. Here you can see age comparator. So the naming convention is like a name followed by the comparator. Like that we will give the name for the comparators. And let us see age comparator implements the comparator interface, and then in the compare method is there. So in this compare method, similar to what we seen for comparative method in the comparable interface, similar to that we can write the logic uh, greater than or less than, and we have to check and return values 1, -1 and zeros. So that's it about the logic we have to write. And now let us see the main method of this program. So we are in the main method of this program. So here we can see I have created the different employees and initializing the particular values with the using the constructor. And after that I am adding the values into a list, and then I am sorting the list. So let us see the output of this program. So here you can see values are getting sorted based on their age. You can see the employees are getting sorted based on their ages. So the smallest age will come the first. So this is how sorting will work for using comparator and interface. And when we use comparator, you see in here I am not modifying the user defined class. I am creating an extra class. In that you can define the particular comparator object, comparator logic. And thank you for watching this lecture. In this lecture we covered about comparator and comparable interfaces. Both are used to sort the particular elements in a collection. So thank you for watching this lecture. I will be back with the next section. Thank you.